Good morning, Math Wizards and Math Masters. Welcome to yet another edition of Mr. Leggett's Eureka Math in the Morning. We're going to get started right away, and today we're doing subtraction of a mixed number and a fraction. So we've been dealing with addition for a while now, but let's head on down to subtraction. And our first problem is 3 3/4 minus 3/4. And our instructions are asking us to use a number line or the arrow method. Let's go ahead and do the number line. It gives me a real clear picture of what's going on, and hopefully it gives you a clear picture of what's going on too. So I'll make a number line, and this is a little different approach. We're going to start at 3 3/4. What? Yes. So I'm going to start there, and that's going to be our 3 3/4. All right, now we're subtracting 3/4. Let's go like this. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 3/4, all right? Now let's think about where 3 3/4 is on the number line. 3 3/4. What if we added another quarter this way? Where would we be at? We'd be at 3 4/4 are another whole, so we would be at 4 over here. All right, so that's 4. But here's 3 3/4, and we're subtracting 1, 2, 3/4, 3/4, like so, minus 3/4. All right, where are we? Think about it. 1/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. So this must be 3. I can do 2 here and do 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 3. And we can see that 3 3/4 or 3 3/4 minus 1, 2, 3/4 equals 3. So our answer is 3. Let's continue on to our next problem. 4 7/10 minus 3/10. What will that equal? Now I could just kind of approach this like we did with addition and just do the fractions. 7/10 minus 3/10 would be equal to what? 7 minus 3 is 4, so it would be 4/10. So answer is probably, we could do in our head here almost, that it's 4 4/10. But let's make a number line and double check. And this time around I'm going to do something a little differently. I'm going to start at 4 and end at 5. Right? Let's make these into tenths. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10, and then 10/10 are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, I'm starting at 4 7/10. 4 1/10, 4 2/10, 4 3/10, 4 4/10, 4 5/10, 4 6/10, 4 7/10. Right there. Following? What am I doing? I'm subtracting 3/10. 1, 2, 3. Boop. Where am I? Where am I? 4 1/10, 4 2/10, 4 3/10, just like we said. 4 4/10. So our answer is 4 4/10. You see how we started here at 4 7/10? We subtracted 3/10, 1, 2, 3/10, and we wound up at 4 1, 2, 3, 4/10. Let's go to our next problem. And this one's going to present some issues, not as straightforward as the others. And it's 5 1/3 minus 2/3. Now think about subtraction. I can't just subtract those. 2/3 is larger than 1/3. So we're going to make a number line to show what this will equal. And I'm going to do 4, 5, and 6. So we get a big picture, all right? We're dealing in thirds. 4 1/3, 4 2/3, 4 3/3 are 5. 5 1/3, 5 2/3, 5 3/3 are 6. Where do I start? I start at 5 1/3. What am I subtracting? 2/3. 1/3, 2/3. Minus 2/3. Where do I wind up at? 4 1/3, 4 2/3. You see what happened? the 2/3 is being greater than 1/3, it made 5 1/3 less than 5. We subtracted 1/3 and 2/3, and our answer is 4 2/3. Since I don't have a lot of room up there, I'll just circle my answer. Okie dokie, let's see what we got. We got 9 and 3 fifths. Okay, 9 and 3 fifths minus 4 fifths. Okay, where do we want, we can see the problem right here. 4 fifths is larger than 3 fifths. So let's make another number line. And I'm going to go with 8, because I have a feeling that it's going to be less than 9. And then we'll do 9. And just so you get a big picture, I'm going to do 10. And we're going to break them into fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where do I start out with? I started at 9 and 3 fifths. 9 and 1 fifth, 9 and 2 fifths, 9 and 3 fifths. What am I subtracting? I'm subtracting 4 fifths. 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths. There we have it. Where am I? Where am I? 8 and 1 fifth, 8 and 2 fifths, 8 and 3 fifths, 8 and 4 fifths. See, we started at 9 and 3 fifths, and I subtracted 1, 2, 3, 4 fifths. And what's our answer? 8 and 4 fifths. We started out at 9 and 3 fifths, 1, 2, 3, and we subtracted 4 fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4. We wind up at 8 and 4 fifths. 1, 2, 8 and 1 fifth, 8 and 2 fifths, 8 and 3 fifths, 8 and 4 fifths. All right, we're going to do something a little different for the next 4 problems. And it's 5 and 3 fifths minus 4 fifths. Okay, what can we do different here? Well, let me show you. We're going to break this apart. We're going to decompose it. I want to decompose it with 3 fifths, and I'll show you why. Really, really fun here. Okay, I'm going to do 3 fifths. How many fifths are left over? 3, 1 more, so it's 4 fifths. Why do you think I chose 3 fifths? Well, we're subtracting, right? So now I can go, okay, 5 minus 3 fifths minus 1 fifth. I could go ahead and eliminate the 3 fifths, right? Right. So now all I'm left with is 5 minus 1 fifth. What would that equal? Well, let's think about it. I know it's going to be less than 5, right? So it's going to be 4. And what would be left over? How would I make that a 1 again? It would be 1 and what? 4 fifths. Because 4 fifths plus that 1 fifth would equal to 5. Do we see that? So our answer is 4 and 4 fifths. And we can show this on a number line if we like. And why not? We'll start with 4. And we'll put 5 over here. And 6 over here. 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths, 1 whole. 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths, 1 whole. Or 6. So we're going to start with 5 and 1 fifth, right? Excuse me, we're going to start with 5. And we're just subtracting that 1 fifth. Where do we wind up at? 4 and 1 fifth, 4 and 2 fifths, 4 and 3 fifths, 4 and 4 fifths. So picture like if you had 5 pies maybe, or 5 plates of brownies, and you cut them into 5 parts, and you gave away 1 fifth, then you'd only have 4 plates plus the 4 fifths. In fact, let's just do another little diagram, just so we can really get this down. We're going to start out with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's our 5 holes. We're going to break them into fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 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 Let's say they were all shaded in. But let's say if you subtracted just 1/5. Thump, thump. What would you have left over? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. And there you have it. Okay, we're going to try 4 1/4 or 4 1/4 minus 2/4. Let's break this down into, decompose it. I want to eliminate that 1/4, so I'm going to make that a 1/4. How many do I have left over? Another 1/4. Then watch, I can just go, okay, 4 1/4 minus 1/4, dunk, and I can cross that out too. Now it's just, these have crossed each other out. Now it's just 4 minus 1/4. What would that equal? Well, I know it's going to be, it can't be 4 anymore, it's going to be 3. And then what would this be minus 1/4? 1 whole minus 1/4 would be 3/4, right? And there's our answer. Let's continue on, moving right along to 3 1/3 minus 2/3. And let's go ahead and do a number line on this one, just so we really get our heads wrapped around it, okay? I'm going to go with 2 here, 3 here, and 4 there. What unit are we going to break them into? Thirds, right? 2 1/3, 2 2/3, 3. 3 1/3, 3 2/3, 4. Okay, where am I? I'm starting out at 3 1/3. Right there. What am I subtracting? 2/3. 1/3, 2/3. Boop. Where do I wind up at? 2 1/3, 2 2/3. And we can even take this a little step further if we wanted to and go ahead and do the breakdown. I could go 3 1/3. And remember, I'm subtracting 2/3 minus 1/3 minus 1/3 because I'm subtracting 2/3. Well, 3 1/3 takes care of that. I'm left with just 3 minus 1/3, 2 2/3. And our last one is 2 3/8 minus 5/8. Oh boy. Alright, what can I decompose this into? Well, the first one has to be 3/8. I'm not just pulling a number out of my hat. What's left over? There's 3/8, 4, 5, 2/8. So now I can subtract. Look, get rid of that because it's right here. 3 plus 2 is 5. But 3/8 minus 3/8, done. Now I'm just down to 2 minus 2/8. We can do a number line. I can know that this is going to be less than 2, right? So it'd be 1 and what? Well, I'm taking away 2/8. 8/8 minus 2/8 would be what? 6/8. Don't believe me? Let's do a number line. And let's go with this right up here, our original problem. So we have 1 here, and I'm going to do 2 here and 3 here. What unit do we have? Eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I started out at 2 3/8, 2 1/8, 2 2/8, 2 3/8. I subtracted 5/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boop. Minus 5/8, or when I did it like this, I minus 3/8, 1, 2, 3, and then 2/8. 1, 2, where am I at? 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/8. 1 and 6/8 is indeed the answer. Boy, you know, if we were still in class, we would have spent so much time on that. I know these are kind of lightning fast lessons. I appreciate you logging on and being here. I hope you're having a good Thursday. Make sure you log on to Language Arts. Make sure you log into Imagine Learning. I believe we have access to Imagine Reading now. And also get your IXL in. Thank you so much for those students doing all that work to stay fresh over the summer and while school is closed. And yeah, we will see you in the Language Arts section of Google Classroom. Bye for now.